Good evening all. I'm Tinchini, one of the OET aspirants from EduSkills family. And firstly, I say thank God and our dear mentor Father Salain for giving such a wonderful opportunity to join in the discussion session. And today our second day of part C, explanation.
Today is our second day of reading part C. So as we know, in the part C we'll have two texts. So with different context, like different topics will be given for two texts. So in that first text, we are saying about does homeopathy works for today's. So in each text, so we need to learn about the paragraph sequences. So it may be like some of the text will have 6 paragraphs, some of them will have 7 paragraphs. So we have to make a sequence of it, like what paragraph 1 says, paragraph 2 says, and the paragraph 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have to correlate with the question numbers, like with each question. Some of the paragraphs will have 2 questions. So like lexical question type of questions will have 2 questions in 1 paragraph. In this text, we have 7 paragraphs. So in the first paragraph, so we need to, like I said, to find the sequences. So we need to highlight the topic sentences. While many consider homeopathy unscientific, regular uses older contrasting opinion. Okay, so in each text, so by seeing the paragraphs, like topic sentences, what is the main idea of it? So here they're speaking about the unscientific or the scientific. So they have a controversy between scientific nature of the content and the unscientific. So we can see, like, we have to give a sentence, like a heading for it. In the same way, next paragraph 2. So here, so what's going on in Australians and citizens of many other nations around the world are voting with their ballot. So here the keyword, like in the topic sentence, we get it as like a voting with their ballot. So they are paying something to get it. So that is what the convert, like if they want something, they need to pay it. So next paragraph, third paragraph, part of homeopathy's appeal may lie in the nature of the patient's consultation. So they're speaking about like whoever is practicing the patient care. So as a nurse consultant or the doctors or the medical consultant. So regarding the practitioners, whoever as a homeopathic, so we are going to say it in the paragraph 3. And the fourth paragraph, in the topic sentence, most people visit homeopath after having received a diagnosis from a mainstream practitioner, often because they want an alternative choice to medications. It says by a St. George Co. So they want to know what is the any alternative choices are there. So regarding in this paragraph, they're speaking about alternative choice. I'm not going in depth about each paragraph, just I'm going to highlight what is the main heading of it. Next paragraph 5, fifth. Give the homeopathic medicines that by their very nature incredibly dilute, and some might argue diluted beyond all hope of efficacy. So they're speaking about what is the efficacy of the medications which is provided. The next paragraph, 6. The question of the placebo effect inevitably arises as studies repeatedly seems to suggest that whatever benefits are being derived from homeopathy are more a product of patient rather than any active ingredient of the medication. This is about what is the trust they have regarding the treatment. So next last paragraph 7. But if some people around the world are placing their faith in homeopathy despite the evidence against it, Broom questions why homeopathy seeks scientific validation. So what is the reason? So the paragraph structure says like the paragraph homeopathy is the so here the sequences we can see the paragraph they are mentioning. First paragraph, it is about the homeopathy scientific or unscientific things. So they're regarding controversy, so they'll be speaking about it. So paragraph 2, voting with their ballot. So if they want something to get, so they'll be paying for it. And 3, it is patient practitioner consultation. And the 4, an alternative choice. There any or like whether they're using the homeopath has an alternative choice. And the 5th, it is the efficacy of the medications what they're getting. And the 6th, patient faith rather than a medications. So first, whatever we do, we should have a faith in that work. So then only that will work. So when they take the medication, they feel that they are having the faith that this medication will work, and they'll take. The paragraph 7, need for scientific validation. So whatever the medication is taken with the faith, so whether that is have a good effect on them. So that scientific validation to be seen. We'll move on to the questions now. Question number 7. So the 2 reports mentioned in the first paragraph both concluded that homeopathy, and the options are could be harmful if not used appropriately, B, merely works on the same basis as the placebo effect, lacks any form of conceiving proof of its value as a treatment, and the D option would require further investigation before it was fully understood. So whenever we see the question, so this is a question text and the answer option method. So we have to highlight the edging words in the question. So the edging words are like 2 reports. So you're finding the 2 reports. So there are some 2 reports like which is given by different association or the different organization, and also the conclude. So it says that it's concluded that. So there is a result which has been given from the 2 reports. So next slide. In the next slide, we'll see like we have to be going to the text. What are the edging words in the text? So topic sentences. While many consider homeopathy unscientific, regular users hold a contrasting opinion. As we saw in the question, there is a 2 reports. So we are going to find what are the 2 reports. So there is a abbreviations. So like National Health and Medical Research Council. Along with that, there is one more, that UK House of Commons. So like 2 things we are going to highlight it. So based on this, we'll find the edging words in the options. So what they speak about. So from the National Health and the Medical Research Council published a report concluding there was insufficient evidence to support homeopathy's effectiveness. So they're saying that is evidence. So we have to see whether is there any correlation with the options answer is there. So in the option A, they could be harmful if not used appropriately. So harmful, I've taken the edging word, and merely works on the same basis as the placebo effect. And C options lacks any forms of convincing proof of its value as a treatment. Would require the D, it is required further investigation. So like lacks any forms of convincing proof. So in the text, it shows that so there is a insufficient proof or the information. So lacks may be insufficient it is. So there is a synonyms word, so which relates to the answer. See here. So there is a lack. So after so we have a contrast word here along with the abbreviation. So the report is provided in the Medical Research Council. So they have published the report that concluding that there was insufficient evidence to support homeopathy for this effectiveness. So the option C says that lacks any form of convincing proof. So there is no insufficient proof which is there to say that the is like effective or not, whether it is completely benefit or not. So the first paragraph will be like a complete information will be there in the first paragraph. So we have to go each and every sentence, as well as the next, that homeopathy involves administering the supportive sentences. So homeopathy involves administering highly diluted substances that in larger amount would produce the very symptoms they aim to treat. And these small doses sourced from the plants, animals, and minerals. Like from where the medicines are made. So with the help, like from the plant source or the animal source or any other minerals they have used. That is the belief to strengthen the body. Okay, so the medicines are prepared with the use of plants, animals, or the minerals. They are the source for the medications. So they have published reports which is concluding there was insufficient evidence to support homeopathy's effectiveness. This aligned with findings from the UK. So along with the NHMRC, so the UK House of Commons, so they also have stated that available evidence did not demonstrate a clear benefit of homeopathy. So here also they are saying that there is insufficient information that whether it is completely benefit or not. Okay, so product, and that they performed no better than placebo. Placebo is like a false effect. So they have a false information about. Despite this, Australian earned at least so like $11 million annually on homeopathic remedies. So they are paying for it. So that says that like they are going to have a like what we say that in this, like it is related to the second paragraph, like we have said valid. So they have to pay it and they have to get it. So they are paying so much to get the treatment. Again, like could be harmful if not used appropriately. So this is not been like in the text, nowhere it is mentioned about the text A. sorry, option A, and B merely works on the same basis as the placebo. So there's a false negative, like false effects or the false information. So the D option would require further investment before it was fully understood. So even this regarding the investigations also, they have not been specified here. So the answer will be C. So that is the lack in any form of convincing proof of its value as a treatment. So that is the like paraphrasing of it to support the effectiveness, the aligned with the, there was an insufficient evidence to support the homeopathy. And shall we move on to the next question? So according to the father strategy, so whenever there is a contrast word, we have to, like, the previous whatever the text is there, we can ignore it. So the answer will be after the contrast. Even there is a abbreviation. So those are the clues which we have to find it. So the next question is 8. When commenting on the popularity of homeopathy, Professor Broom shows is. So here directly we can move on to the, like, as there is a Professor Broom. So as the edging word. So as the, it's a name based question. So as per father strategy, directly we can move on to the name. So here there is Professor Alex Broom. Okay, says Professor Alex Broom of the University of Queensland. So he says what is the content. So it is, so we can directly move on to that. So they have really interesting questions is how can we possibly have something that people think work when to all intent and purpose from a scientific perspective it doesn't. So we need to, like, after finding that the name, we will find the edging words in the options. So there are, it's like shows what is the, what they are saying about it. So we, they'll be like we have a emotion based edging words here, that is surprise at people's willingness to put their trust in it. So surprise, frustration in the second option, B option, and the C option there is a acceptance, and D it is concern over the risk people. So when we say about surprise, so as we saw in the previous, so they were getting it like around, like by paying it money, so they paying from the wallet, they have, we had a word, right? So that is voting with their wallets. So based on that, so they're getting it. So when you get so much of amount, so what we feel, can anyone guess? If someone give you some $100, what you feel? Will you be frustrated if you get some incentives? Can anyone please answer me? To be happy?
Happy
No.
surprise.
Yeah, you'll be surprised or happy. So when they are providing so much of, so that's what, when they are providing, when they're paying from their wallet, so they'll be happy. So that is a surprise. Hopefully the surprise at people willingness to put their trust in it. So when they feel it is useful, so they'll have a, see, it's a common thing, like when we feel happy, so we'll go with that treatment. If we are not happy, we're not going to continue with it. So that is what, like the emotion which is concerned here. What's going on in Australian and citizens of many other nations around the world are voting with their wallets. Does this mean homeopathy must be doing something right? For me, the crux of the debate is a disconnect between how the scientific and medical communities view homeopathy and what many in the wider community are getting out of it, says Professor Alex Blue. By seeing this, like, so as we said, so surprising, so that may be the answer. So frustration means like nobody will feel frustrated or regarding the inability to explain their view on it. So scientists, so that is not it been given in the text. So option B has been eliminated with that, and even acceptance of the view that the subject may merit further studies. So regarding the further studies, so in this text, so it has not been mentioned it. Okay, concern over the risk people face when receiving such treatment. Even the risk factors, so about the risk factors, they have not mentioned in the topic. So only about the voting with their wallet. So when you, that is the main edging words which we have it in the paragraph 2. So by seeing this, so we can clearly mention that surprise are people's willingness to put their trust in it. So that is the answer for this question. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Reshma, and thank you for providing this platform to increase our knowledge. today's question is question number 9, which says that Jonathan Ashmer's view on homeopathy highlights. So, in this question, what is the stem? What is the stem of the question? Is it? This is the one person name highlighted. Okay. So, whenever, as per father's strategy, whenever there is a person name is there, straight away we have to highlight, or we have to go to the that particular name. Okay. But reading part C suggests we should follow a strategy of QTA, that is question, text, and answer. Okay. Also, one strategy, when there is a a person name is there, we have to, after the whatever is mentioned, we have to read that. So this gray color part we should completely ignore, and we should read the next part. Okay. So writer Jonan Ashmore is a case in point. She sees her homeopath for 1 hour monthly consultation. I feel if I go and say I have got this health concern, she is going to treat my body to fight it rather than just to treat the symptoms. So here, so what patient is feeling here? What person is feeling here? Okay. So we have to look for the answer. Okay. Practitioner put their patient at ease. Ease means in this option, writer is saying that patient is very ease. Patient is very comfortable with the practitioner. Okay. Or practitioner who? Homeopathic practitioner. Okay. So this that's why we have to highlight option in option A, patient at ease. Okay. The key attraction of approach for patients. Okay. The key attraction to approach for the patient. So here, writer is saying, the option is saying the key attraction of approach for patient. How patients are approaching towards the homeopathic. Third option says that it's how it suits patient with the range of health problems. So we have to see whether this 3 lines suggest any health problems. Okay. And the opportunities to improve the patient care which GPs miss. What do you mean by GP? GP, general practitioner, miss. So here in this 3 line, there is no information about opportunities to improve patient care, and this option number has some grammatical error. GP is miss. In this way, we will never get a proper answer. So straight away we can cancel the option D. Okay. So D we have cancelled. Now remaining A, B, C. In that option C, it suits patients with range of health problem. So do you find any information in this regarding any range of health problems? No, they are telling about the symptoms. Okay. Health problem is different and symptom is different. Symptom is what? If you're having headache, you will, if you have some headache, that is what? Symptom, correct? Is it a diabetes? No. Okay. Health problem is a disease condition. Okay. So that's why option C is also cancer. And the most appropriate option is that option B, the key attraction of the approach for the patient. Approach means what? How patients are being approached, how patients are being come to the homeopathic physician. So that's why B is the correct answer. Okay. I would like to read the paragraph 4. Okay. So paragraph 4 is like, most people visit a homeopath after having received a diagnosis from a mainstream practitioner, often because they want an alternative choice to a medication, says Greg Cope. Generally speaking, for a homeopath, their preference is if someone has diagnosis from a medical practitioner before starting a homeopath treatment. It's rare for someone to come and see with us with an undiagnosed condition, and certainly if they do come undiagnosed, we want to refer them on and get that medical evaluation before starting a course of treatment, he says. Okay, so here first we'll understand the question 10. The fourth paragraph, it suggests that of homeopaths. Okay, what they are saying, visit of homeopath, what is all about. Okay, so I have already read the paragraph. Okay, so now we'll go to the options. First option is occasionally depend on referral from the mainstream doctor. So we have to see for the if this option is correct, we have to see whether the mainstream doctor means who, the general practitioner, MBBS doctors are sending any referral to the patient, referral to the homeopathy. Okay, this is the understanding of first option. Okay, next one, frequently result from patient treatment preference. Okay, so here in this option we have to understand whether patient are preferring. So option B suggests that frequently result from the patient treatment preference. So we have to see whether the patient is willingly going to the homeopathic doctor with their preference. We have to see in that paragraph. Okay, so should be preceded by a visit to a relevant specialist. Okay, homeopath appointments are preceded. Matlab, before only it is being planned, like referral they are sending, we have to see. Okay, often reveal previously overlooked medical problem. So if we have to see whether the homeopath visits overlook any medical problem, they try to overlook any previous medical problem. So by this we have to in fourth paragraph it suggests a visit of homeopath. So here we have to understand that there is one word second in the third line. Generally speaking, for the homeopath, their preference is someone has diagnosis from the medical practitioner before the starting the homeopathic treatment. Okay, so it's rare for the someone to come and see the undiagnosed condition. Okay, so here it is very rare that in this para it is saying that it is very rare that nobody will go first preference to the homeopathic doctor. They will see some other doctor, then they are come. Okay, and in second paragraph it is showing often because they want a alternative choice to a medication. So here generally suggests that the visit of homeopaths, the visit to a homeopathic doctor generally basically depend on the patient treatment preference. That's why option B is the correct answer rather than other. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bharati, one of the OET aspirant from EduSkills family. First of all, I would like to thank you, our father and our admin panel members and every one of you. Today, I will discuss about reading part C, question number 11. 11. What particularly concerns Professor Glasgow? The A option is saying the risk of patients of relying on chemotherapy vaccination. B is saying the mistaken view that chemopathic treatments can only do good. The way that chemopathic remedies endanger more than just the user. The ineffectiveness of chemopathic regimes against even minor illness. Paragraph 5. Given the homeopathic medicines are by their very nature incredibly dilute and some might argue diluted beyond all hope of efficacy, they are unlikely to cause any adverse effects. So, where is the count? Professor Paul Plesio, chair of NHMRC's Homeopathy Working Committee, says that while financial cost is one harm, potentially more harmful are the non-financial costs associated with missing out on effective treatments. It is just 4. I am not too worried, but if it is for a serious illness, you may not be taking disease modifying treatments, and most worrying is things like HIV, which affect not only you but people around you, says Glasgow. This is a particular concern with homeopathic vaccines, he says, which jeopardize the herd immunity, the immunity of a significant proportion of the population, which is crucial in containing outbreaks of vaccine preventable disease. We all know we can eliminate one option from ABCD. Anyone can tell what is the option we can easily eliminate according to our father strategy, please?
B, because there is absolute.
Absolute.
Thank you, Jinsima. Yeah, there is absolute is there. Only we can remove the option B. If it is a name-based question, this is so we can go. We have get confusion regarding two names are there. Like third lines are saying Professor Paul Clesio is we can subject eliminate, we can subject complement, we can eliminate chairman of NHRC, like that we can eliminate the line and we can read it like that. Mr. Professor Paul Clesio says that while financial cost is one harm, potentially more harmful are the non-financial costs associated with missing out of effective treatments. Then it is just cold. I'm not too worried. There is one contrast word is there, but it is for a serious illness. You may not be taking disease modifying treatment, and most horrifying thing is HIV which affects not only you but people around you. Jace bless you. So if it is two names are same names are there, we can go for the second name. If it is mentioned, Glesio says we can read the sentence before what it is. Already our contrast word also there. We can finalize after the contrast word also. We are getting our answer according to our father strategy, right? So I can read most worrying thing is HIV which affect not only you but people around you, says Glesio. That is our answer is C option, saying the way that the homeopathic redeems endanger more than just the user. Then we can get little bit confusion regarding answer option D. This is already Glesio told, no, maybe this might be the answer, but the D option is saying the ineffectiveness of homeopathic redeems against even minor illness. The Glesio is saying, the third line I'm reading, Professor Paul Glesio says that while financial cost is one calm, potentially more harmful are the non-financial costs associated with missing out one effective treatment. It is just cold. I am not too worried. He's telling I'm not worried. If it is a minor illness, it is not the problem. If it is the big illness like HIV, I am worried. Our question is asking most particularly concerns. So we are going to this answer the way of he is worried about the way that the homeopathic redeems endanger more than just the user. There is a option, nothing they said regarding risk, so we can eliminate the A option, the risk of patients of relying on homeopathic vaccination. I hope you all understand these questions. We can go to number 12 question. Here is also our highlighted biological questions we are seeing. Greek Hope uses the expression of wonderful outcomes to underline. This A option saying the ability of homeopathies defy scientific critics. The defy. Then B option is saying the value of his patient's belief in the whole process. C is saying the claim that he has solid proof of homeopathy works. The D is saying the way positive result can be achieved despite people doubts. Always if we are going to lexical question, we will go first over this highlighted word, right? I will read first whole paragraph, then I will explain. The question of the placebo effect ineffectively arises as studies repeatedly seem to suggest that whatever benefits are being derived from homeopathy are more a product of patient faith rather than of any active ingredient of the medications. However, Greek Hope dismissed this argument, pointing out that homeopathy appears to be benefit even the skeptics. We might see kids first, then perhaps mom, and after a couple of years, dad will follow. And even though he is only there reluctantly, we get wonderful outcomes. This cannot be explained simply by the placebo effect, as this is much is enough, because other name is coming. If it is in this paragraph, other contrast word or some name is coming, maybe it will be next question. That is enough. So I am explaining how I am getting the answer. Wonderful outcome. So here it is there. However, we can read. However, Greek Cope dismissed the argument, pointing out that homeopathy appears a benefit even the skeptics we might seek at first. First, they are bringing the hits to homeopathic, then they are bringing their mom, then their father is coming to the homeopathy. If he is reluctant, even though that will follow, and even though he only reluctant, we get wonderful outcomes. But we even though he is only the reluctant, but we get wonderful outcome means it is positive. The way the positive result can be achieved despite people doubts. That is paraphrasing of answer D. First answer, the ability of homeopathy to defy scientific critics is anything not mentioned about defy or difficult or not opposing anything. Then value of his patient belief, they are not mentioned any value of patient belief is not mentioned. There is also there is no solid proof of homeopathy work. Here it's not solid proof or anything is mentioned, but we have some doubt, maybe if it is eliminated, because our introductory paragraph is saying they are paying, there is worthful, then maybe if you have that thought, maybe we will think about D, maybe we can eliminate, but it cannot be. Our wonderful outcome is saying even though he is only there reluctant, that will follow, and even though he is only there reluctantly, we might wonderful outcomes. That is our answer. The positive result can be achieved despite people's doubts. That is paraphrasing of this word. Wonderful outcome means positive result. Then people doubts means his doubt means people's doubt means that will he is only doubt. It will go to people's doubt. Okay. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for listening me.
Hi, good evening all. I'm Varsha, one of the OET aspirant from the EduSkills family. I would like to thanks Father Salim Joseph and all the admin panels for giving me this opportunity. Today I'm going to present the question number 13 and 14 from the part C. As we are following the QTA method, question, text and answers. So we'll move towards the question now. From the question 13, from the comments quoted in the sixth paragraph, it is clear Johanna Ashmore is, as we know that initial part of, there was two questions from the paragraph 6. Initial question was presented by Bharti. And as per father strategies, if there are two names or two contrast words, we can understand. And if there is a two question, the initial part will be the first question and later part will be the second questions. So right now, as questions, there is a name-based question, Johanna Ashmore. We will directly swoop to the name in the paragraph. So from the down, there is a Johanna Ashmore is aware scientific research does little support homeopathy, but can still see its benefits. If seeing my homeopath each month improves my health, I am happy. I don't care how it works, even if I at all. It's all in the mind. I just know that it's this. So now we'll read the answer options. Answer option A is if prepared to accept homeopathy may depend on psychological factors. B is happy to admit that she was uncertain at first about the proceeding. C is skeptical about the evidence against homeopathic remedies. D is confident and research will eventually validate the homeopathy. Now we can see here that in option A, it is saying that the prepared to accept that homeopathy may depend on psychological factors. Here, paraphrase are used that I am happy after the contrast word. It comes usually that I am happy. I don't care how it works. Even if in place of may, we can use as a if. means it all in the mind, means depend on the psychological factors. So we can understand that Johanna Ashmore's what he wants to comment or what is quoted in that area. About the P options, there are saying happy to admit she was uncertain at first. She has not mentioned anywhere that she were uncertain about the proceeding it. So we can eliminate that options. And about C option, the skeptical, doubtful about the evidence against homeopathic remedies. That is also not nowhere mentioned about she were skeptical about the homeopathic remedies. And the D is the confident that research will eventually validate homeopathy. And even though in that the comments, she has not explained about her explanation validate the homeopathy. So we can consider our answer option A as it's prepared to accept the homeopathy may depends on psychological factors. Now I will move to the question number 14. The question number 14 is a lexical based question. The words highlighted this. What does the word this in spinal paragraph refer to? Refer to also the reference about the reference based question. Now move to the paragraph 6. But if so many peoples around the world are placing their faith in homeopathy, despite the evidence against it, Broom questioned why homeopathy seeks scientific validation. This is our topic sentence, and controlling idea is the why homeopathy seeks scientific validation. Next, the problem as he sees it lies in the fact that if you are going to dance with conventional medicine and say we want to proven to be effective in dealing with discrete physiological conditions, then you indeed to have to show efficacy. In my view, this is not about broader credibility per se. It's about scientific and medical credibility. There actually quite a lot of cultural credibility surrounding homeopathy within the community, but that's not replicated in the scientific literature. Okay, here we can see we have mark hedging words this and the refer to as is the reference questions. In the answer option, we can see the A is the continuing inability of homeopathy to gain scientific credibility. It has in the passage, we can, as per father strategy, we can see the first line before the hedging words, and we can read like the we want to be proven to be effective in dealing with discrete physiological conditions, then you indeed do have to show efficacy. In my view, this means it is scientific credibility about they are saying not it is not about the broader credibility per se. Per se is meaning is the in itself means this is not about the broader credibility in itself. It's about scientific and medical credibility. There's actually quite a lot of cultural credibility surrounding homeopathy within the community. Though the homeopathy is in the homeopathy following in the community, but they that not means that it is not replicated in the scientific literature. So it cannot be contained in the scientific literature, though many people are following the homeopathy. Now we can understand about the answer options. Here's the continuing inability of homeopathy to gain the scientific credibility. They have not shown anywhere in what is inability of the homeopathy to gain the scientific credibility. Then option B, the suggestion that the scientific credibility of homeopathy is in doubt. That they have not shown, that word is not showing that suggestion that scientific credibility is in doubt. So we can eliminate that option too. And answer options C also, it is shown the opposite of the controlling idea. That the idea that there is no need to pursue scientific acceptance for homeopathy. But in topic sentences, it is given, but if so many people around the world are placing their faith in homeopathy, despite the evidence against it, Broom questions why homeopathy seeks scientific validation. It means homeopathy is still in the search of the scientific validations. And that we can strike out that the option C, because the homeopathy is still in the finding out the validity. So no need to pursue scientific acceptance for the homeopathy. It is against that controlling idea. So we can eliminate that option. And answer option D is the motivation behind the desire for homeopathy to gain scientific acceptance. It means it has given in the option paragraph that there are actually quite a lot of cultural credibility surrounding homeopathy within the community, but it's not replicated in the scientific literature. So it cannot be, though people are following the homeopathy, we cannot mention in the scientific literature. It may still that homeopathy wants to be keep the desire about the scientific acceptance. They want that scientific acceptance because as a homeopathy works. So I hope I have cleared, and we can see that it's about the scientific and the medical credibility. Thank you all.